All right, we're going to quickly cut across to Prime Minister Modi speaking in Ahmedabad. Let's take a listen.
Ahmedabad से
देखिए, तीन प्रमुख बातें हैं अगर गुजरात के दौरे को देखें प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के। पहली बात यह है कि ये दौरा ठीक एक दिन बाद हो रहा है जब हम देख रहे हैं कि 5 राज्यों के चुनावी नतीजे आए हैं और बीजेपी को 4 राज्यों में प्रचंड जीत हासिल हुई है। उत्तर प्रदेश और उत्तराखंड जैसे राज्यों में 5 साल सत्ता में रहने के बाद प्रचंड बहुमत के साथ वापसी हुई है। निश्चित तौर पर उसके ठीक एक दिन बाद गुजरात पहुंचना और पंचायत प्रतिनिधियों के सम्मेलन।
Prime Minister Modi on his way in Ahmedabad. He's all set to speak to an audience there. A mega show of strength indeed in Prime Minister Modi's home turf, Gujarat. Here's the Prime Minister, in fact, parading with his convoy. He's going to be speaking, addressing a crowd after a massive victory in 4 poll-bound states. Seems like a huge win for the BJP, undoubtedly. UP, they've managed to win back, almost creating history in 37 years. In fact, in Goa too, they've fallen in favor. We're looking at Uttarakhand as well, BJP regaining power. And in Manipur, yet again, BJP coming back overwhelmingly. This is a historic win for BJP, undoubtedly in 4 poll-bound states. And here is a massive show of strength. Prime Minister Modi, as he approaches the podium there in Ahmedabad, his home turf, he's all set to speak to an audience there. He's going to be addressing the poll victory that was announced just last evening, a huge victory for BJP undoubtedly in Uttar Pradesh, one of the only parties to have come back to power for the second time in 37 years. A huge win for the BJP under Prime Minister Modi's leadership. We're going to be seeing Prime Minister addressing an audience in just moments from now. Remember, we're looking at 4 poll-bound states that the BJP has managed to regain power, including Uttar Pradesh, which was an all-watched election, a very curiously watched polls. In fact, Uttar Pradesh, after much of the criticism over farmers' agitation and unemployment, several issues that the BJP had to face, managed to tide over all that and more, came with an overwhelming victory. In fact, Prime Minister Modi, under his leadership, we're looking at least 4 states that they've managed to bag, including Manipur, Uttarakhand and Goa, along with, of course, Uttar Pradesh. Here, Uttar Pradesh was a very, very closely watched election, with the BJP putting all its cadre, strength and might on ground only to ensure victory, and they managed to pull that off. And how? We see Yogi Adityanath now to be the Chief Minister yet again of Uttar Pradesh. Like I said, several jinx that was broken by the BJP. After 37 years, a party has managed to clinch victory in the state of Uttar Pradesh for the second time. In fact, Prime Minister Modi, under his leadership, not just Uttar Pradesh, we're also seeing Uttarakhand that they've managed to win with an overwhelming majority. We also see Goa that they managed to clinch victory. Also Manipur that they've managed to regain power. Here, under Prime Minister Modi's leadership, we see that the BJP cadre on ground have been celebrating extensively. Prime Minister Modi himself in his home state, Gujarat, now parading. He's with his convoy reaching the podium to be speaking with an audience. Paulami Saha joining us, tracking all those developments. Paulami, almost a victory lap there. Prime Minister Modi with his convoy approaching the podium. He's going to be addressing an audience. This is indeed a very happy moment for the BJP under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. They've managed to clinch victory in 4 states, including Uttar Pradesh, creating history undoubtedly. What's expected?
Right, Nabila, this is the stretch of the roadshow that the Prime Minister has embarked on. That way is where the airport is, Ahmedabad airport is. So he is in fact coming down that stretch in an open-top jeep right now, waving to his supporters and party workers who've gathered across this entire stretch. This is a 10-kilometer long stretch, Nabila, which goes all the way from Ahmedabad airport towards Kamalam, which is the BJP state party headquarters. And you can see the scenes behind me, the supporters who've gathered over here to cheer on Prime Minister Narendra Modi as he arrives in his home state of Gujarat after the electoral success and victory of the Bharatiya Janata Party in 4 out of 5 states that went to polls in the first half of this year. Gujarat, of course, goes to polls during the end of this this year, in the month of December, is when Gujarat will go to polls. And this is virtually the BJP kickstarting its election campaign for the state of Gujarat. This is a party which is unrelenting. This is a Prime Minister and a party chief who in fact is not wasting a minute, is not sparing a breath before he moves on to the next election campaign. So the results only came out yesterday. He addressed the BJP Karyakartas yesterday at the party headquarters in Delhi, and today he is on a victory lap from the airport onwards. In fact, I'll ask Kirpal to come with me so we can show you more visuals from the airport onwards towards the party state headquarters, where he will be addressing the party Karyakartas. That is the stretch of road behind me, and you can see, Nabila, that is entirely decked up, and there are again party workers and supporters who've gathered, and you can see the crowd which is gathered on the road. You can see the security which is extremely tight. This is the stretch he's expected to come down on, a 10-kilometer long road show by Prime Minister Narendra Modi as he arrives in his home state of Gujarat. He has a packed program for the 2 days that he's spending in Gujarat. Today he will, of course, after this roadshow, address his party Karyakartas at the state BJP headquarters, obviously pumping them up for the election, gearing them up for the election that is to happen in Gujarat. And then, of course, he will go to the program which is to happen, the Maha Panchayat, which is to happen. Panchayati Raj representatives will be present, in fact, at that function. Saurabh Bhaktania, my colleague, in fact, is joining me live from Ahmedabad. Saurabh, you are, of course, also tracking this roadshow of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, a significant moment for the Bharatiya Janata Party. The BJP already laying the groundwork for its election campaign for Gujarat 2022, Saurabh.
Well, I can barely hear you because in the visuals you can see the celebrations have already started, and these are the celebrations that the BJP has won massively in the 4th state election. Look at the visuals over here, the colors, the people, the girls over here playing Garba, and let me tell you that on the entire stretch of 10 kilometers, this is the situation all over. The BJP officials are telling us that over 2 lakh people will be participating in this particular whole road show, which is almost 10 kilometers long. And let me tell you that the preparations for the Gujarat State Assembly elections 2022, which will be happening in December, have already started. Look at the visuals here. The road is now completely cleared because Prime Minister Narendra Modi has landed, and in any time soon over here, he will be passing through over here, and all these people who have come from all over the Gujarat will be waving. क्या लग रहा है आज प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी गुजरात आ रहे, क्या कहना है?
सबसे पहले तो भारत माता की जय, वंदे मातरम, जय द्वारिकाधीश। खुशी का माहौल है, उत्सव का माहौल है। आज गुजरात में हमारे आदरणीय बड़ा प्रधान आ रहे हैं अहमदाबाद में। कल 10 तारीख को जो 4 राज्यों में प्रचंड बहुमति के साथ जो भाजपा ने जीत हासिल की है, उस उत्सव मनाने यहाँ गुजरात आ रहे हैं। और जैसे कि आप सब देख रहे हो कि दीपावली जैसा माहौल जमा है यहाँ पे।
So this is the celebration which people of Gujarat are celebrating, because after a very long time, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is coming to Gujarat in his own turf, and it will be a huge celebration. The visuals of this particular road, this is the Badgam area, this is the half the road over here. They are going to pass from here. It is going to a huge convoy. Let me tell you, it is going to be a huge convoy and a complete security arrangement, not just from the Ahmedabad, but the police officials from all over the Gujarat. Extra forces have been deployed because it is a high security zone which has been declared. The road is now completely cordoned off. No vehicles are now passing from this particular area, and the evening part is the GMDC ground, where there will be a Maha Sammelan. Over 1 lakh people from the Gram Panchayat area, that is the Gram Panchayat, Zilla Panchayat, all will be present over here, and there it will be a start for the Gujarat State Assembly elections of 2022. So just after the elections are over, the situation is now all set for the elections of Gujarat, which will be held in December 2022. And the girls are playing Garba over here. There are so images of different states from northeast to West Bengal to South India. There are different folk dance which are happening all around this particular road. Look at this particular road, the stretch over here. It's completely jam-packed. From airport till the Kamalam, that is the state office of BJP Kamalam in Gandhinagar, Koba. There is the entire population from all over the Gujarat who have come over here, who will be welcoming Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a way. So the Gujarat State Assembly elections have now started. The campaigning is now being started by Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself in the evening at the GMDC ground. And this roadshow clearly shows that BJP does not want to lose their home turf, that is Gujarat.
Absolutely, Saurabh there, of course, showing us the visuals from Ahmedabad city where we're standing right now. Look at these people. Look at the number of people who've gathered over here. BJP supporters who are chanting, who are cheering, who are sloganeering and waiting for Prime Minister Narendra Modi to arrive here in a short while from now. He will be on this stretch in a short while from now. You can see the first of the fleet cars has in fact reached over here. This stretch of the road coming down from the Ahmedabad airport where Prime Minister Modi has landed. He's on an open-top jeep and he has in fact arrived over here. He is going to come down very shortly from here. Let's try and speak to some of the people over here. Modi ji aa rahe hain. Gujarat mein election hai. भाजपा दोबारा आएगी गुजरात में? जरूर आएगी. आपको लगता है कि मोदी जी ही कैंपेनर है, मोदी जी ही पार्टी के स्टार है? Modi chants going out over here. As you can see, the crowds have gathered over here. You can see those visuals, of course, of Prime Minister Modi that are being beamed on large screens at this very circle, this roundabout that we are at, which is the Taj Circle in Ahmedabad. And you can see that the people have in fact gathered over here. And you can see those crowds that have gathered at the podium at this circle as well in order to cheer on Prime Minister Modi. But very interestingly, what I can point out are the images from Operation Ganga, which have been put on banners over here. It says the banner, the big banner behind that stage over there says Aabhar Narendra Bhai, Operation Ganga, gratitude towards Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Some of the students, in fact, who hail from the state of Gujarat, who have been brought back from Ukraine, safely brought back from Ukraine, in fact, are present over here. They will be greeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well and thanking him for the government's support in safely bringing back all Indian nationals who were stuck in Ukraine. So they are present over here on that stage, and these are those visuals that you can see of the song and dance and the very festive atmosphere. So on the one hand, while it might appear that the BJP is celebrating its victory of the 4 elections, results for which were out yesterday, but this is also, on the other hand, the BJP beginning its Gujarat campaign. These are those images, those very colorful pictures, as you can see. This is what it says. This poster over here says Modi na netritva ma Vishwa Guru Bharat. So basically saying the Prime Minister has exalted the status of India as well across the world. These are those posters, in fact, claiming and thanking Prime Minister Modi for Mission Ganga, for Operation Ganga. As you can see, there are people over here who are gathered. क्या कहना चाहेंगे मोदी जी को देखने?
मुझे बहुत गर्व है कि हम हिंदुस्तानी हैं। हम उस हिंदुस्तान के हैं जहाँ के माँ ने ऐसे लाल को पैदा किया, जिनके एक इशारे पे हमारे हजारों लाल फंसे हुए हमें वापस मिले। जय हिंदुस्तान, जय भारत।
Okay, so that is the sentiment over here on the ground, thanking Prime Minister Modi for bringing back the students who were trapped in Ukraine. Remember that the last of those flights bringing back students evacuated from Sumy, which was one of the most high-intensity conflict zone in Ukraine. They are coming back today. So Operation Ganga, in a sense, possibly comes to a close. But the Indian government has made it absolutely clear that we will bring back every Indian national who wants to come back, and we will ensure their safety. So all of these people over here who who've gathered. They're here to thank Prime Minister Modi as well as he, of course, comes down this stretch of the road on his road show that he's on currently from Ahmedabad airport towards Kamalam at the BJP state headquarters. If Saurabh is with me, Saurabh, the Prime Minister is also expected to address the party workers and Karyakartas, the MPs and MLAs of Gujarat at Kamalam. Is he going to give them the success mantra as Gujarat gets poised for the state assembly elections in 2022? And that's a fleet. That's the fleet of Prime Minister Modi that's coming down right now. This stretch, my camera person Kirpal Singh giving you those visuals of Prime Minister Modi as he and that cavalcade moves down extremely slowly down that stretch of road which is coming down from Ahmedabad airport, acknowledging all the party workers and supporters who've gathered over here. The Bharatiya Janata Party and its party workers extremely pumped after the results of yesterday, where the BJP has retained power in all 4 states that went into elections: Uttar Pradesh, significantly Uttarakhand, Goa and Manipur. And now the BJP here virtually kickstarting its campaign for the Gujarat election, the home state of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. A prestige battle for Prime Minister Modi as he, of course, embarks on this mission to retain Gujarat for the Bharatiya Janata Party. As you heard from the voices over there as well, it was very clear that Prime Minister Modi, in fact, it was very clear that it is Prime Minister Modi who is the star mascot of the Bharatiya Janata Party. And those are visuals up close of Prime Minister Modi, the crowd cheering on as Prime Minister Modi, in fact, acknowledges their support. Modi chants going out. Those are visuals, close visuals of the cavalcade as it slowly comes down the stretch from the airport towards Kamalam. In fact, we'll wait and see if the Prime Minister stops at this podium over here at the Taj Circle where we are. But Prime Minister Modi in an open-top jeep right now, acknowledging the support of all the party workers in the saffron cap. He is, of course, waving out to the crowds as this convoy of his makes its way down slowly towards Kamalam, the state party headquarters. So it's going to be extremely important to see what Prime Minister Modi has to tell his party workers. Remember, Gujarat has been won by the BJP since 2002 without any intermission. It was in 2001 that Prime Minister Narendra Modi had taken charge at the helm of affairs in Gujarat from then Gujarat Chief Minister Shri Patel, at that point of time, who had resigned due to a loss for the Bharatiya Janata Party in the by-elections. Then it was Narendra Modi who led the party into the elections in 2002, 2007, 2012. Narendra Modi is a 3-term Chief Minister from Gujarat, and it was in 2014 eventually that he passed on the baton to then Chief Minister of Gujarat, who then became the Chief Minister of Gujarat, Bhupendra Patel, before he proceeded towards Delhi. And those are close visuals. Kirpal, my camera person, bringing you those visuals of Narendra Modi in a bedecked, open-top jeep, currently flanked by leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party. He is joined by the party chief C R Paatil on one side and the Chief Minister of Gujarat, Bhupendra Patel, on the other side. They flank him as he makes his way down this circle. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as he in fact goes down, you can see those visuals. You can see those visuals of Prime Minister Modi in his open-top jeep with Gujarat. And of course, C R Paatil, who is the party chief, Prime Minister Modi on that open-top jeep as his cavalcade moves forward. You can see the crowds cheering him. In fact, the music growing louder as Modi, in fact, acknowledges the support of the people of Gujarat as he, in fact, moves forward in this road show towards Kamalam. In fact, making the victory sign as he goes along. That is Prime Minister Modi, and I'll ask my camera person.
All right, that's Pallavi Saha there, who's on ground, bringing us all that action and enthusiasm, excitement as people in Gujarat, of course, hailing the Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his home turf. Remember, Pallavi saying this time and again, this has been a massive victory for the BJP in the 4 poll-bound states, including Uttar Pradesh, a very curiously watched election. And the election result, of course, has really managed to boost the BJP.
Modi, flanked by Gujarat Chief
Modi.
Minister Bhupendra Patel and BJP party chief C R Paatil right now on a roadshow, a victory lap for Prime Minister Modi after the state assembly election results. 4 out of 5 BJP states, in fact 4 out of 5 states won by the Bharatiya Janata Party, the BJP retaining power in these states. And as you can see, the Prime Minister is acknowledging the support of all the party workers and the citizens of Gujarat who have gathered over here. Prime Minister is on an open-top jeep, a bedecked open-top jeep, as he moves forward towards the party office. And you can see here the music that's going on. You can hear the song and dance that's going on. Prime Minister there folding his hands and acknowledging the support as he moves forward towards Kamalam.
Minister Modi there on his cavalcade, the convoy, they're passing through thousands of enthusiastic supporters, his people in Gujarat. Pallavi Saha there alongside the Prime Minister's cavalcade. She has been reporting on ground, bringing us all that excitement, enthusiasm after BJP's massive victory in the 4 poll-bound states. This is almost like a victory lap for Prime Minister Modi. You see in his home turf, people there hailing him enthusiastically, waving at him even as he passes by. He's headed towards a podium there in Ahmedabad. He's going to be speaking in just moments from now. This is certainly a big victory lap for Prime Minister Modi under his leadership. 4 states that they've managed to clinch victory in India. The election results has really come as a huge booster for the BJP and its prospects in the years to come. And we got across to Pallavi there. Pallavi, take it away. You've been, you're right beside Prime Minister Modi and his cavalcade. He seems very excited to be meeting and greeting with his people in Gujarat. That's Prime Minister Narendra Modi there waving at the crowds there, enthusiastically cheering for him even as he takes this victory lap. It's now a moment of pride undoubtedly for the BJP after winning 4 poll-bound states. Pallavi Saha right there on ground. Pallavi, go on. We see that enthusiasm, excitement. Where is Prime Minister Modi headed towards? What's he going to be speaking in moments from now?
You can see the roadshow behind me that Prime Minister Modi has embarked on. Prime Minister Modi is currently on a roadshow in Ahmedabad city on a 10-kilometer long stretch, flanked by Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel and Gujarat State BJP Chief C R Paatil on an open-top jeep. And you can see supporters who have gathered over here. This entire stretch of the road, the 10 kilometers, completely decked up with Bharatiya Janata Party flags and balloons. They have in fact started chanting and sloganeering, saying Modi, and of course you can see that the Prime Minister seems to be moving forward. They of course have been stopped for a while, and you can see some of those individuals who have come over here, of course completely decked up in colours as well in order to welcome Prime Minister Modi, waving the tricolour symbols of the Indian Army on this gentleman's body as well. As you can see completely, you can see some of the cultural scenes over here as well. So Prime Minister Modi, of course, being welcomed in a grand manner with grand celebrations here at Ahmedabad, where he's already on this roadshow, and you can see the fleet that is moving behind him as it goes very slowly towards Kamalam, the state BJP headquarters. You can see the supporters, the people who've lined up over here. मोदी जी को देखा आपने? बहुत मजा आया, बहुत। गुजरात में बीजेपी दोबारा आएगी? 100%।
100%।
अब स्टार कैंपेनर तो सिर्फ मोदी जी ही दिखते हैं गुजरात में, और कोई स्टार कैंपेनर है कि नहीं?
अब सब है, कार्यकर के साथ सब लोग हैं।
अच्छा, कार्यकर्ता सब स्टार्स है,
उसको सपोर्ट करते हैं मोदी साहब।
आप कार्यकर्ता हो पार्टी के?
हाँ, बीजेपी के बाद सपोर्ट।
कांग्रेस, आम आदमी पार्टी, ये तो इस बार उतरेगी?
कुछ नहीं, कोई विकल्प नहीं है गुजरात में। उसरा बीजेपी के अलावा कोई विकल्प ही नहीं है।
ऐसे चीटरों को लाने का ही नहीं है कांग्रेस को, कोई उसको लाने।
आम आदमी पार्टी भी उतरेगी इस बार?
अरे भाई,
बहुत बड़ी जीत हासिल।
जिसको भी आना तो वो, जिसको आना वो, बीजेपी सिवाय कोई आ रहा नहीं है किसी के पास।
आपको कुछ कहना है कि जो दूसरी पार्टी आ रही है इलेक्शन में, आपको लगता है बीजेपी को टक्कर देगी?
जी नहीं, अभी तो कोई पार्टी है नहीं टक्कर देने के मुकाबले, सिर्फ आपके सिवा अभी कांग्रेस का भी कुछ है नहीं, नामो निशान।
अच्छा, तो लगता है कि आप टक्कर देगी?
हाँ शायद, पर अभी कुछ कह नहीं सकते। अगली बार तो मोदी है 24 में तो।
अच्छा, 24 तो मोदी है, 22 में कौन है गुजरात में? बीजेपी है? कौन है?
बीजेपी है।
पर इसमें भी तो सब मोदी मोदी ही बोलते हैं। मोदी जी गुजरात से चले गए, पर फिर भी मोदी जी ही यहाँ पर स्टार है।
हाँ, वो तो रहेंगे ना, क्योंकि उन्होंने विकास ही उतना किया है।
अच्छा, that is what the people have to say, that he continues to be the star campaigner of the Bharatiya Janata Party in Gujarat because it is his work that the BJP is building on. Remember, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was a 3-term chief minister in Gujarat before he had to demit office and move towards New Delhi in order to assume charge as Prime Minister of India when the Bharatiya Janata Party won a landslide election in 2014. Back to you.
He's carrying out a 10-kilometer roadshow in his home state, Gujarat. We know that Prime Minister Modi has been ecstatic after the results that came out yesterday, showing 4 states victory for the BJP. It's under his leadership that they've managed to bag all 4 states, and with a comfortable majority. This indeed is almost a show of strength ahead of 2024 as well. A stage that is being set with the Prime Minister really, in fact, speaking of his cadre, speaking of the kind of work that the entire BJP as a unit has done, this kind of display and a show of strength is almost a statement that he's sending out ahead of polls.
Absolutely, Nabila, this is a show of strength. Look at this stretch of road. Kirpal, can you please show the number of supporters you've gathered over here? This is the entire stretch as it looks like across these 10 kilometers from Ahmedabad airport to the state BJP headquarters, Kamalam. So clearly, all of these people have gathered over here. We spoke to some of them, as you heard already, and they're, of course, exuding a lot of confidence that it is BJP all the way come December 22 as well, 2022 as well, because eventually they believe that the star mascot of the party is going to wing it for them again come December 2022. So the BJP has nothing to worry about, but the BJP has been working on the ground in terms of course correction, if you may. For instance, changing the Chief Minister of Gujarat. In September 2021, when Vijay Rupani was asked to step down as the Chief Minister of Gujarat, and Bhupendra Patel, who in fact was with Prime Minister Modi on that open-top jeep, in fact joined him on that jeep, became the Chief Minister of Gujarat in September 2021. And of course, the BJP believes that it was because of the feedback that they were receiving from the ground in terms of Vijay Rupani's tenure, in terms of his work during COVID as well, the pandemic, and they did not want to leave anything to chance in case that sort of resentment of the people against the Chief Minister or the government in fact reflected in the votes come December 2022. So that is the kind of foresight that the party had. How much is going to sort of actually pay off in terms of dividends, whether it was the right move to make or not, we'll soon find out. Saurabh, in fact, my colleague Saurabh Bhaktania is standing by at one of the junctures where Prime Minister Modi is in fact going to cross through his roadshow. You can see the fleet is still moving over here. Saurabh, if I can come to you right now, give us a sense of the scenes on the ground where you are right now. And earlier, in fact, Saurabh, I was going to ask you about the Prime Minister and the mantra that he's expected to share with BJP Karyakartas as he reaches Kamalam, the BJP state party headquarters, as this roadshow comes to a close. Saurabh.